Welcome to the Prepper Almanac. Today, we're talking about a situation no one wants to face but everyone needs to be ready for, especially with everything going on in the world, and that's a societal collapse. Forget the fancy lattes and comfy beds. When the grid goes down and everything goes sideways, it's down to you and your wits to survive. We're talking raw survival instincts here, folks. The kind that kept our ancestors alive for millennia. Now I've faced my fair share of wild beasts and treacherous terrains in my day, but surviving in a world without rules? That's a whole different situation for preppers. But fear not, because in this video, we're equipping you with the knowledge to face the unknown. We're going deep into the discussion of survival prepping, exploring the top 10 items that'll be your lifeline when the unexpected hits. Remember, luck favors the prepared, so let's gear up, get informed, and conquer whatever comes our way here in the near future. First things first, we need to talk about the elixir of life, and that's water. In a collapse scenario, forgetting your water bottle isn't just an inconvenience, it's a death sentence. Clean water sources will become scarcer than an honest politician. That's why a top-notch water filtration system is non-negotiable. Think of it as your trusty sidekick, filtering out all the nasty bacteria and contaminants that'll have you running for the bushes, and that's not in a good way. We're talking about microscopic villains like E. coli and Giardia, invisible to the naked eye but ready to wreak havoc on your insides. Now there are plenty of fancy filtration systems out there, but in a pinch, even a simple cloth filter can be a lifesaver. Remember, desperation breeds ingenuity. I've used my trusty sock to filter murky water in the Amazon, and trust me, it wasn't pretty, but it worked. The key here is to be prepared. Stock up on water purification tablets, learn how to build a DIY filter, and always boil your water if you can. A little precaution goes a long way when it comes to staying hydrated and staying alive. You can't fight on an empty stomach, and trust me, surviving a societal collapse is a fight. We're talking about outsmarting the elements, outmaneuvering danger, and outlasting the odds. That requires energy, and that's where non-perishable food comes in. Forget about those gourmet meals and fancy restaurants. In a crisis, it's all about calorie density and long shelf life. We're talking rice, beans, lentils, oats, the staples that have kept civilizations going for centuries. Think of it like packing for an expedition. But instead of climbing Everest, you're climbing out of chaos. Every calorie counts, so pack smart. High energy bars, dried fruits, and nuts are your go-to snacks for those moments when hunger strikes. Remember, scavenging for food in a collapsed world is not for the faint of heart. It's a last resort, fraught with danger and uncertainty. That's why having a solid stockpile of non-perishable food is non-negotiable. It's about securing your lifeline, ensuring you have the energy to think clearly, act decisively, and survive another day. Let's face it, in a world gone sideways or a complete societal collapse, scrapes and bruises are the least of your worries. But that doesn't mean you should ignore them. A simple cut can turn nasty if it gets infected, and trust me, you don't want to be battling blood poisoning when the world's falling apart. That's where your trusty first aid kit comes in. It's your mobile medical unit, your first line of defense against infection, and sometimes the only thing standing between you and a world of hurt. We're not talking about fancy surgical equipment here. The basics are your best friend, such as bandages, antiseptic wipes, pain relievers, and antibiotic ointment, the essentials to treat minor injuries and keep infections at bay. But here's the thing, a first aid kit is only as good as the person using it. Knowing how to treat a wound, splint a broken bone, or perform basic CPR are essential. These are the skills that can make the difference between life and death. In a world gone wild, a multi-tool is like having a Swiss Army knife of survival solutions right at your fingertips. It's your trusty sidekick, your go-to gadget for everything from building a shelter to fixing a broken shoelace. We're talking about a compact powerhouse that packs a punch. It's a knife blade for cutting, a saw for gathering firewood, a screwdriver for repairs, pliers for gripping. The possibilities are simply endless. Imagine this, you're trekking through dense woodland, desperate for shelter as the sun begins to set. With your trusty multi-tool, you can transform a fallen branch into a sturdy shelter pole, fashion a makeshift fishing hook to catch your dinner, and even start a fire to ward off the night chill. It's not just about convenience, it's about resourcefulness, about adapting to whatever challenges come your way. A multi-tool empowers you to be proactive, to take control of your environment, and to improvise solutions when the unexpected strikes. You can usually pick one of these up on the cheap at your local dollar store as well. Fire. It's the ultimate survival tool. a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. It provides warmth, cooks your food, purifies water, and keeps those nocturnal predators at bay. In a societal collapse, mastering fire is non-negotiable. Now, rubbing two sticks together might work in the movies, but in a real-life survival situation you need a reliable fire-starting kit. Think waterproof matches, a ferrocerium rod, that's your trusty flint and steel, and some dry tinder to get those flames going. Remember, starting a fire isn't always easy, especially in damp conditions. Practice makes perfect. Gather different types of tinder such as birch bark, dry grass, cotton balls soaked in petroleum jelly, and experiment with your fire-starting methods. A roaring fire can mean the difference between a cold, hungry night and a comforting meal under the stars. It's a morale booster, a symbol of resilience, a reminder that even in the darkest of times there's always light. Exposure to the elements can be just as deadly as any predator. A sudden downpour, a plummeting temperature, or even the relentless glare of the sun can quickly turn from uncomfortable to life-threatening. That's why shelter is non-negotiable. It's your sanctuary, your barrier against the elements, your fortress of survival. Now, we're not talking about building a 5-star hotel here. A simple tarp strung between trees, a natural rock overhang, or even a debris hut can provide life-saving protection. Learning basic shelter-building techniques is crucial. Practice building different types of shelters using natural materials. Familiarize yourself with knots and lashings. The more you know, the better prepared you'll be to create a safe haven in any environment. In a world plunged into chaos, information is power. Knowing what's happening around you, being able to connect with loved ones, or even just sending out a distress signal, can be the difference between life and death. That's where communication devices come in. Forget about your smartphones relying on cell towers, as power grids will most likely be down. We're talking about the old-school heroes of communication, the two-way radios, weather radios, and signal mirrors. A hand-crank weather radio can be a lifeline, providing crucial updates on weather patterns and potential dangers. Two-way radios allow you to communicate with others within a certain range, coordinating efforts, sharing information, or simply offering a reassuring voice in the darkness. And never underestimate the power of a signal mirror. It's a simple yet effective tool for attracting attention, signaling for help, and increasing your chances of rescue. Let's face it, when society crumbles, so do the rules. And in a world where lawlessness reigns, being able to protect yourself and your loved ones is paramount. We're not talking about becoming Rambo overnight, but having a few basic self-defense tools and the knowledge to use them can be a game changer. Pepper spray, a sturdy walking stick, or even a well-aimed throw of rocks can deter an attacker and give you those precious seconds to escape. But remember, self-defense is about more than just weapons. It's about awareness, about trusting your instincts, and about projecting confidence. Maintain situational awareness, avoid dangerous areas, and trust your gut feeling. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Forget about fashion statements. In a survival situation, your clothing and footwear are your first line of defense against the elements, potential injuries, and even pesky insects. We're talking about durable, weather-resistant clothing that can withstand the rigors of the outdoors. Think layers, moisture-wicking base layers, insulating mid-layers, and a waterproof outer shell to keep you dry and warm no matter what Mother Nature throws your way. And don't underestimate the importance of sturdy footwear. Blisters and foot injuries can cripple your mobility, making you vulnerable and putting your survival at risk. Invest in a good pair of hiking boots that provide ankle support, good traction, and can handle rough terrain. Remember, comfort is key. Break in your footwear before disaster strikes, and choose clothing that allows for a full range of motion. Being able to move freely and comfortably can be the difference between escaping danger and becoming trapped. You can have all the gear in the world, but without the knowledge and skills to use it, it's just dead weight. In a societal collapse, your most valuable asset is your mind. We're talking about the skills that can keep you alive, like first aid, fire starting, shelter building, navigation, knot tying, water procurement, and even basic self-defense. Learn how to identify edible plants, track animals, and read the signs of nature. The more you know, the more confident and self-reliant you'll become. But knowledge without action is useless. Practice your skills regularly. Build a fire in the rain. Navigate with a compass and map. The more you sweat in training, the less you'll bleed in a crisis. So there you have it, folks. The top 10 essentials to help you navigate the choppy waters of a potential societal collapse. Remember, This isn't about living in fear, it's about being prepared. It's about taking control of your destiny and facing the unknown with courage and resilience. Now, I've faced my fair share of hairy situations, and let me tell you, preparation is everything. It's the difference between panicking and acting decisively, between succumbing to fear and rising to the challenge. So, get out there, learn those essential skills, gather your gear, and most importantly, never give up. Because when the unexpected hits, it's not about luck, it's about grit, determination, and the will to survive. As we wrap up today's video, if you have any questions or if there are any topics that you would like discussed in the future, let us know in the comment section below. We love to get video ideas from the community. And be sure to like today's video and subscribe to the channel in order to be notified of the next prepper video we release. Also, check out the link in the description for a list of offers of free prepper gear and free prepper items to check out. And thanks for swinging by the Prepper Almanac today, it's appreciated.